All right, hello. Okay. All right, you guys can hear me now. So for anyone that was watching yesterday, uh, or watching the VOD from yesterday, it's it might be posted after this one because I had to make an edit to it, so it's still like processing. But yeah, that should be up sometime soon. Um, I just need to I just need to fix that one thing and then it's gonna go back up. It's also gonna cut early, like maybe by like a couple minutes. So you'll notice that it's like it like randomly cuts off. But it's not gonna be anything too crazy. Uh, so let me go to let me go get one last thing and then we can start with some Anki. Today, realistically, I want to do U World more. Um, that's realistically what I want to do. Um, right. So, uh, all right. So basically, we're just gonna do the reviews, and then maybe I'm just gonna finish the rest of the cards. I realized while doing my reviews that I'm not like I am once again sleep deprived. So we're gonna need to. I'm gonna be quite laggy, so that's like the main reason why we're gonna do your world questions because I feel a lot better doing questions than I would be doing the cards. So we'll take today as a day kind of like to catch up on your world questions. Like we'll do a bunch of them for maybe like an hour and a half. Um and yeah, we're pretty much we'll call it there. Hopefully this doesn't take too much of that hour or hour and a half. Realistically, starting like today, what I want to do is I want to just like stop doing reviews on stream because I feel like there's not much benefit to it. Like I feel like there are times when I'm doing the cards that I might give an explanation. Um, I might give an explanation to how I'm able to get to that answer. Um, and like you guys kind of get to know what the wiring my of me encoding the answer is. But when I'm doing the reviews, like you don't really get that. So it's not as I don't think it's gonna be as beneficial. Um, but yeah. I also just want to do more questions. Like, I feel like we haven't really done that a lot, and we've done a good amount of Pancal as well. We've done a couple chapters. We've done biochemistry. We've done where we can do some more biology. Like, we definitely have a good amount of things that we can go through. Um, but yeah, all right, let's go. Right? More susceptible to reduced memory, uh, concentration, obesity, and depression. I'm gonna say hard. Um, it is a single membrane-bound organelle that contains hydrogen peroxide. What is an episome? It's a plasmid that can integrate into the genome. It means that it fuses with the cell membrane to release its contents. What does rough ER do? The rough ER is going to use the materials from the cytosol to create proteins, release it into the ER lumen, which then gets released to the smooth ER, which then releases it, packages and transports it to the Golgi apparatus. During hypnotism, false memories. Um, it is the amount of charge felt by the valence electrons? Yeah. What is the cell environment, the cell envelope? Okay, I'm gonna go back to the last question. I just want to ask. I want to make it clear that it's asking for the equation because I didn't. I'm honestly might click again just because of that. Let it give the equation, bro. All right, and then we're gonna go boom. I'll click again. What is the cell envelope? It is the all of the layers extending outward from the cell membrane. Oh, low fi. 1 second. All right. What is a sex pilus? This is the appendage that male bacterium use to form conjugation bridges. Insomnia. What is that? The energy necessary to remove an electron from a gaseous atom. Damn. What is a sex vector? It is the um. This is the plasmid um, that kind of encodes the sex pilus um, and allows male bacterium form their to form conjugation bridges and conjugate. No transformation processing. It means you only have one layer. Rod shaped. Uh, basilar tuning. Cilia are they're small projections from the cell surface that allow for materials to move along the cell surface. It means that it's like flat and scale like. Hypnosis is an example of an induced state of consciousness. Um, each sensory receptor binds to a labeled line theory. Central is a hollow structure that's made up of uh, nine triplets of microtubules. What is the okay? So we have Dear King Philip came over from Great Spain. I don't know who came up with that. Anyways, uh, domain, kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, species. Umami glutamate. Um, what kind of proteins are usually found in the roughly R? Um, is that loud? No. Okay. Cool. Proteins that are destined to be secreted or integrated into the membrane. Tipplings, spatial temporal. An endocytic vesicle that um, endocytic vesicle. Um, endocytic vesicle. It results from endocytosis, but What else is there? There's something more to the definition, but I don't remember it. Oh, it pinches off from the membrane. I've heard that's not important enough information for me to like again. It's asexual reproduction of bacteriums. What is the Golgi apparatus function? It packages, sorts, modifies um, proteins and lipids for transport. Those modifications um, can allow for transport to specific locations. And then is there something else? Oh, it can be like inside the cell, outside the cell to the ER. What are the smoothie function? So it's lipid synthesis, detoxification, and packaging transport. Uh, our environment and self, because we have similar brain activity. What does it mean to be a eukaryotic cell? It means that you have membrane-bound organelles and you membrane-bound organelles and uh, you have a nucleus. Positive purple and negative pink. What is the shared structure of flagella and cilia in eukaryotic cells? Um, the 9+2 structure with it has 9 doublets of microtubules on the outside and then two on the inside. I'm gonna say two doublets on the center. My brother, a central doublet, bruh. You see, that's the problem with the wording sometimes, bro. Because one and how you gonna say 9+2 is 9 doublets, but the two in the middle is one doublet. So it's a 9+1. You gotta keep the terminology consistent, bruh. What is a retrovirus? Um, a retrovirus is it's a virus that it's like single-stranded enveloped virus um, with like RNA virus that also comes with a reverse transcriptase that turns the RNA into DNA that gets integrated into the genome. The tail sheath is the long, thin part of a bacteriophage that can act as a syringe. Methadone. It's genetic elements that can insert or remove themselves from the genome. Viral extrusion is basically viruses exocytosing from the cell. Meditation, parvocellular. The amount of force used in order to pull an electron in a shared bond. Um, what is an isotope? It is it's an atom with a different number of neutrons. What is chemotaxis? The ability of a cell to detect and move away from or to a chemical stimulant. It is the powerhouse of the cell, or the double membrane bound structure that whose inner membrane contains structures that allow it to generate ATP. They contain uh, calcium carbonate crystals, which attach to hair cells. What is the hook? The hook connects the filament to the basal body. That's a hit. Each taste bud has five. The labeled line model. Function of the mitochondria is the outer membrane. Um, what is the function of the mitochondria's outer membrane? Um, it separates the cytosol from the contents of the inner mitochondria. Um, on the fovea, trichromatic theory. Vmax is the maximum velocity. It's when the maximum velocity at which the enzyme can turn substrate into product. It's based on the number of enzymes, realistically. Glomeruli. What is the lag phase? It's when it's still adapting to the environment. Uh, Three types of single-stranded RNA viruses. Um, I don't know, bruh. What is ionization energy? Um, it's the amount of energy needed to remove an electron. Oh my god, I got it. I got it wrong again. This is the attraction felt by valence electrons despite the shielding electrons. Um, the equation is protons minus shielding electrons. The stroma is the support structure upon which the parenchyma depends. It usually is composed of connective, no, yeah, connective tissue. A beta, A delta, and C fibers. Flagella are there's structures involved in the movement of the cell, accomplished by spinning and flailing, um, generating the force for movement. Sigmoidal. It can live in the environment, but it's not going to use for metabolism. What is it? It's like spherical. Programmed cell death. Uh, it's running out of resources, so it like falls off. The growth falls off. Indications of snoring and fatigue after a full night of rest. What is the basal membrane? Um, What is the basement membrane? Um, the basement membrane is going to be um, what's it called? It's going to be the underlying layer to which epithelial cells are attached. I didn't say of connective tissue. Or reduced memory, reduced concentration, obesity and depression. 9+2 structure with nine surrounding doublets and central doublet. The amount of energy needed to remove an electron. Oh my God, bro. Positive sense and negative sense. The support structure of an organ upon which the parenchyma depends. It's usually made of connective tissue. Um, what is the basement membrane? The basement membrane is the underlying layer of connective tissue to which the epithelial cells are attached. Amount of energy necessary to remove an electron from a gaseous atom. Okay, flat 640. A flat 640 cards learned. Would you look at that? All right, let me see how many cards I have left um in the cell. We still have 44 remaining in the cell. Let me see what the cards are. Um, like, are these gonna be possible? Like, okay, so basically, like some of the cards are pretty simple, but I don't know if those are gonna be the cards for today. Um, let's see. We have let me click on this again. So let's do let's do some let's do some Jack Weston. I think I think we're gonna pass on the cards for today. We'll do them tomorrow. Uh, so let's see. Jack Weston, Jack Weston. Um, um, all right. Let's see. I feel like you might do all these daily challenges. I'm not gonna lie to you. All right. Let's do. Let's do. Let's do bio. We never done it before, but we gonna do bio. I don't know. I don't know how much. The problem is, I wanted some time, but I don't know how much time I need for. I don't know how much time I'm gonna need. Do I do? You give me for 10 questions. For 10 questions, I don't know how much time to put. Oh, bruh. It's just 10. It's 10. It's 10 questions of knowledge, just baseline knowledge. I don't know. We can give ourselves like 10 minutes, I guess. I literally have no clue. I have no clue for that one, bro. Valentine's games. Like if it was just one, if it would have just said one, I would have picked this one. It would have had my ass. I'm not sure. All right, let's see, bro. I'm not expecting a lot here. Wait, I didn't even see this. What the hell? Where the hell was that question? The movement of air into and out of the cell, into and out of lungs. Yeah, it's okay. We hadn't learned that yet, but I just wanted to try it. Um, where the hell is the question bank? Am I blind? All right, let's do our cars. just have to go back because I don't think I did well today. I'm not gonna lie. Thank God. I was really confused. I wasn't sure about this one. Um. Oh my God. Wow. A good day. Oh, it's only we're on question five. Let's get to question six before we say something like that. Um. No way. The last question. Yeah. Why is Jack Weston playing with my feelings? Like, look, how do I do that? What do you mean I finished it in 5 seconds, bro? Bro, 5 seconds? It took me 5 seconds, bro. That's it? How did I even do that? Um, mm, Let me see what would be best for us to do. Okay. All right. We're gonna do psych social. Just cause I would feel bad. I would feel bad not doing any cards. Um, like any at all. Like if I walked away and I didn't do any cards except for my reviews, I would feel bad. But psych social is a nice little experience, so I'm okay with it. Okay, okay. Uh, um, okay. Let me put on the lo-fi music. Lo-fi music. Uh, okay, cool. We're gonna do 6C. We're gonna do 6C today. Cause I cannot be bothered to do 6B. That's for sure. Why did I just stop the music? Please don't stop the music. Um, the left, please. I really want to say left, please. Yes. Um. Uh. So we have Broca's area and Wernick's area. Broca to Boca is Broca's area. For context, so I remember this by like because boca in Spanish is like mouth, broca, speech production. That makes sense. It's involved in this is going to be Wernick's area. It's involved in it's in the temporal lobe. Okay, aphasia is incapacity to make to speak. Any disorder that involves language. Okay, so when people have trouble producing speech as a result of damage to language production, I don't remember. Broca's aphasia. Okay. People with they can understand, but they have trouble producing speech. Have trouble comprehending language as a result of Wernick's aphasia. They can speak, but they have trouble understanding. Produced by individuals with Wernick's. It's just like word salad. Yeah. Global aphasia is when an individual. I think they have damage to Wernick's area and Broca's area. They're connected by. Uh, Damn, I actually don't know. I don't remember what this is called. Uh, Damn. The arcuate fasciculus. Okay. Aphasia is any disorder that involves language. It is when people have trouble producing speech as a result of damage to the language production centers. Um, this is gonna be Wernick's. Where is this? No, this is Broca's aphasia. An individual has. I don't remember. Conduction aphasia. Okay, what is conduction aphasia? Normal function of Broca's and Wernick's area independently, but problems when they have to work together. They can speak and comprehend independently. one told something and asked to repeat it. Okay. Um, Let me see if there's a picture that I can add here to help it make sense. Conduction aphasia. And just um example. Okay. All right. There's no picture, unfortunately. They're connected by the arcuate fasciculus. When the arcuate fasciculus is damaged, an individual um has conduction aphasia, inability to write, um, anomia, inability, anomia, inability to name things. If a corpus callosum is severed, the individual is considered like I was laughing because why did they put that picture? Corpus callosum is severed. The individual is considered let me see something. Um is associated with um you can speak and comprehend independently, but you have trouble when you have to do both. Like asked to like repeat something. Anomia, inability to name things. This is another situation where like the prefix applies with Spanish, like anomia, and in Spanish, the word like your name is your nombre, so it like matches up again. In split brain individuals, if an image is on their left, they can. So if the language producing centers are in the left hemisphere, um, then that means that if it's on their left, it's probably going to be more easy for them to like I don't know. I think they can draw it. They can draw it, but they can't say what they see. Um, the left is considered split brained. Wernicke's aphasia, you can understand, but you have trouble producing language. Oh damn. In split brain individuals, if the image is on their right, they can name it, but they can't draw it. Comprehending language. This is Wernicke aphasia. The way something is said influences its meaning. Uh, Prosody. Language is just conditioned behavior. Nativists believe language is innate. Materialists observe things in the brain people think, speak, or write. Interactionists place heavy emphasis on. I don't. I'm not gonna remember any of those. Oh, just so you guys know, I'm not gonna remember any of those. Maybe except for the one that said innate. People with Wernicke's aphasia can uh they can comprehend. No, they can produce language, but they have trouble comprehending it. Um, they have more new cards. That am I going too fast here or something? Like, why am I getting? Believe that once, dude, but that once children could think a certain way, they develop language to describe those thoughts. Uh, I'm gonna throw a random name out there, Vygotsky. Damn, Tuesday. Prosody. Nativists believe language is this innate? Easy, yeah, totally, I remember it. Materialists observe uh, something after we think, speak, or write. What happens in the brain when people think, speak, or write? Okay, again. Language is just conditioned behavior. Interconnection of environmental cues and innate biology. Universalism is the idea that thoughts determine language completely. Um, I'm trying to analyze this picture so that I can try to remember it for later. Um, Thoughts determine language completely. Okay. This is Wernicke's area. An individual has conduction aphasia, Piaget. Behaviorists believe language is um, just conditioned behavior. They observe what happens in the brain. Okay. Interactionists place heavy emphasis on um, interconnection of environmental cues and innate biology in regards to language. That thoughts determine language completely. With broken aphasia, they can understand, but they have trouble producing language. Broca's area. Global aphasia is when an individual They have damage to both their broca's and Wernicke's areas. I think I read this in the middle. It said this one was Vygotsky. Believe in the idea that children develop language by interacting with other people who learn the language first. Mm, see, I know I remember some stuff. I remember a little bit. Um, Materialists observe. Uh, they observe. Um, Materialists observe. Uh, the way the brain responds when we think, speak, or write. What happens in the brain? That's mostly right. Word salad. Aphasia is any disorder that involves language. The interconnectedness of biology and environmental cues in regards to language. Okay. If an image is on their left, they can they can't explain it, but they can name it. Bruh. But Vygotsky. Trouble producing language as a result of damage to language production sensors. Um, um, Broca's aphasia. They can speak, but they have trouble understanding. Nativists believe they believe language is innate, inability to write, inability to name. Archaeophysiculus. They can uh, they can draw it, but they can't name it. Um, Concerned with how the way something is said influences its meaning. Prosody is associated with um, Um, being able to speak and comprehend independently, but having trouble putting like when you have to do both. Behaviorists believe language is just conditioned behavior to be left. Has language has an influence on thoughts. This one is on the far right side. It's the second one. Um, is it like linguism? Linguist. Yo, I was actually a lot closer than I thought I was gonna be. Linguistic determinism is when people have trouble comprehending language as a result of. Yo, I'm gonna this music. It'd be so loud for me, bro. I swear, like, I don't understand why it's so loud. Like, I have it lowered in like multiple places. Have you guys not been able to hear it at all? You guys have just been hearing me, and it's been like blasting in my ear. There's no way. Oh my god, you guys can never hear it. It's literally been blasting in my ear. And y'all haven't been able to hear it at all. That's insane. Fair, because I don't know why you guys couldn't hear it at all. It doesn't even make sense. It's been like blasting in my eardrum, and like y'all haven't been able to hear it at all. Let me see how loud that is. Okay, that's a little loud. I'm gonna lower that. Uh, okay, all right. Have trouble comprehending language. Where next, Aphasia? If an image is on their right, they can name it, but they can't pick it up or draw it. If it's on their left, they can pick it up or draw it, but they can't name it. They're split brained. Universalism is the idea that thoughts determine language completely. What is that channel? Is it TLC? TLC, TLC. What is the full name of TLC? It's the Learning Channel. Okay. I thought I might have had something with TLC. But good brain. Um, is the idea that language has an influence on thoughts. Linguistic determinism. Language and Vygotsky. Interactionists place heavy emphasis on the interconnectedness of biology and environmental cues on in regards to language. They observe what the brain does when we think, speak, or write. They have conduction aphasia. Uh, Piaget influences thoughts, and we think in ways based on how our language is structured. That's cool. Hold on, I'm gonna test it. I'm looking gonna test this out because it's what's gonna make it. It's what's gonna make it interesting for me. Um, I'm gonna ask. I'm gonna ask someone whose language reads from right to left. Okay. Um. All right. So. Um. By interacting with adults who know the language, supported by the fact that I feel like they don't share universal grammar. I feel like it's wrong. Is that really true? Oh wow. Apparently, apparently that idea is like heavily debated. Um, the behaviorist theory. I don't know who it's associated with. B.F. Skinner. Um, it's weak linguistic determinism, aka relativism. Strong linguistic determinism, or the Sapir-Whorfian hypothesis. The nativist theory associated with Noam Chomsky. Um, nativist perspective believes that uh, during development, there was a critical period between birth and the ages 8 to 9 where uh, where the language acquisition device is most active, supported by the fact that all languages share universal grammar. They can speak, but they have trouble comprehending. Prosody. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, my my friend said the girl would be on his left. Let me ask him which one was his first language. Hold up. Okay. Um. Uh. Okay. Blank theory associated with states that language is acquired through operant conditioning. Behaviors theory by B.F. Skinner. Innate language has an influence on thoughts is linguistic determinism. Is just conditioned behavior. Um, hmm. This card and the other card, I'm gonna confuse them. So I'm about to combine them. Hold it. Um, I might have skipped it. I might have left it until tomorrow already. Um, I think I'm gonna. I'm gonna suspend the card that I already learned. I feel like this card is better. Um, Interactionist approach associated. Um, Biological and social factors must interact for children to learn. Is a complete set of meaningful units in a language. Uh, Lexicon. Damn. Actual sound of a language. Phonology. Morphology. Um, Semantics. How words are put in sentences. Syntax. It deals with the context in which language is used. Pragmatics. A set of structures in the brain that play an important role in regulating emotions. Limbic system. Broca's area is involved in speech production and it's in the temporal lobe. Oh, damn. Blake states that uh, weak linguistic determinism or relativism. Universalism is the idea that thoughts determine language completely. Boom. Believes that there must be an interaction between biology and social factors for children to learn languages. Strong linguistic determinism or the Sapir-Whorfian hypothesis. If an image is on their left, they can pick it up or draw it, but they can't name it. The lexicon, phonology, syntax, association of meaning with the word, um, I don't remember, semantics, pragmatics, blank associated with blank, nativist by Noam Chomsky. A set of structures in the brain that play an important role. The limbic system is involved in speech production. It's in the frontal lobe. That Vygotsky. They observe what the brain does um, when we think, speak, or write. Believes that during development, uh, there's a critical period between birth and ages 8 to 9 where the language acquisition device is most active. All languages share universal grammar. Is involved in It's involved in sound processing and located in the temporal lobe. Uh, Association of meaning with a word, semantics. Broca's aphasia is when people um, have trouble comprehending language. I feel like I like the things to be like, if one card says something, the other card should not say an extra something if they're similar. Like, I want them to be uh blank associated with blank states that language is acquired through operant conditioning. Behaviors theory by B.F. Skinner. Global aphasia. When the arcuate fasciculus is damaged. Conduction aphasia. Thoughts determine language completely. Universalism. Um, Piaget believed that. Oh damn, these cards are difficult. Um, Vygotsky believed that. Oh, um, well, okay. So my friend said that if if you have the sentence "a girl pushed a boy," the girl would be on his left, but he learned English first, so unfortunately the test is invalid. Uh, Believed that, like, he was learning three like simultaneously. So Vygotsky believed that in Believe that broken aphasia is when people broken aphasia is when people have trouble producing language due to damage to their language producing centers. Is when people have trouble comprehending language due to temporal lobe damage. Um, Once children can think a certain way, they have language development. Socialization. The idea that uh, language influences thought. Um, it states that language influences thought, and I don't know. We think in ways based on how language is structured. Believe that uh, states that language determines thought completely. Um, the innate ability to learn language. Um, Language is acquired through operant conditioning. Um, Believes that interactionist theory by Vygotsky. Believe that what you thought about language. Um, Piaget believed that Piaget believed that language has an influence on thoughts. Um, uh, this is linguistic determinism. States that uh, language has an influence on thoughts and how we and our language determines them. We think in ways based on the structure of our language. Believe that um, language and thought are independent, but they converge in development. Believe that language is obviously they like he believed that language was innate, but that means that so language was innate because we all have a language acquisition device. Children are born with an innate ability to learn language. Okay. Semantics. Damn. The one card that I could have gotten rid of. Idea associated. Um, Nativist by Noam Chomsky. Association of meaning with a word. This one is semantics. Is involved in speech production in the frontal lobe, um, sound processing in the temporal lobe, uh, morphology. Piaget believed that he believed, I don't know, bro. Once children, language influences thought, and we think in a way that's similar to how our language is structured. Language completely determines thoughts. Um, this is strong linguistic determinism, where it's a pure Worfian. Pragmatics believe that children have an innate ability to learn language because we all have a language acquisition device. Phonology. Um, uh, Weak linguistic determinism or relativism. How words are put together in sentences. Syntax. Believe that um, Piaget believed that um, once children are able to think, they develop the language to describe those thoughts. Associated with Vygotsky believes that um, biological and social factors must interact for them to learn language. Limbic system. Lexicon. Language is acquired through operant conditioning. That children develop language by is Vygotsky. Yeah. Believes that during development there is a critical period between birth and ages 8 to 9 where the language acquisition device is most active. Um, the interactionist theory by Vygotsky. Global aphasia. All languages share universal grammar. Believe that once children can think a certain way, once children can think a certain way, they um, they develop a language to describe those thoughts. Believes that um, interactionist approach biological and social factors must interact for a child to learn language. The behaviorist theory associated with B.F. Skinner, is the idea that thoughts determine language completely. Universalism believe that um, language and thought are independent, but they converge in development. Um, Conduction aphasia, the archetype fasciculus, socialization, that language determines thoughts. Oh, damn. Oh my gosh. States that language completely determines thought. That is true. That language influences thought is when people have trouble producing language, but due to damage to their language production centers. Wernicke's aphasia is when people have trouble comprehending language due to temporal lobe damage. There's an idea that when children develop language by interacting with adults who already know the language. Vygotsky. Wernicke's area is involved in sound processing in the temporal lobe. Interaction approach associated with Vygotsky believes that um, an interactionist approach associated with, let's see, believes that biological and social factors must interact for a child to learn language. It is involved in speech production and it's in the frontal lobe. Um, Nativist Noam Chomsky. Weak linguistic states that language influences thought and the way that language is structured. Basically, like we think and based on how language is structured. Uh, Semantics, pragmatics, Vygotsky, um, uh, like children are able to learn language because they all have a language acquisition device. Um, Once children became able to think a certain way, they uh, they took up language to be able to describe those thoughts. States that language um states that language um behaviorist uh is acquired through operant conditioning. The what theory? Interactionist theory associated with Vygotsky believe that biological and social factors must interact in order to In order for a child to learn language, wait, bro, that's this one was what I just said. I actually believe that language and thought are independent but converge in development. Linguistic determinism is the idea that language influences thought. Believe that children have an innate ability to learn language because they all have a language acquisition device. Is Vygotsky. Language and thought are independent, but they converge in development. All right. Well, we did do our cards for the day. Um, the description was not accurate, I will say. Um, I'll edit that now, low key. Um, like so, pretty much, yeah. At the beginning of the stream, clearly it was not accurate. I said I was gonna do bio. I didn't end up doing bio. I clearly was not in the mood to do bio. Um, but I'm gonna get I'm gonna get some much needed rest. Um, so tomorrow my memory can like consolidate and we can finally finish off the first chapter of biology because it has honestly taken forever. The reproduction chapter might genuinely take a while too. I already know. Watching the Yusuf Hassan video, like obviously, like I'm probably gonna do that on stream, so you guys will be there too. Uh, but yeah, I mean, I'll probably go straight to chapter two in biology. Realistically, the two things that I want to get out of the way the most are biology and biochemistry. Once I am done with those two, like my life will be complete, bro. Like those are probably like my biggest stressors, because I know how in depth they can go, and biochemistry, like I don't know, like it's not anything crazy. Like I know that there are going to be some chapters that are much easier because it's like a pathway. Like it'll probably include a majority of cards being, oh, like what is the first step in glycolysis, what enzyme does it use, like multiple cards being attributed to like one thing, one part of a particular pathway, which is kind of what I'm looking forward to, and I really hope that that's the case. But we'll see when we get there. But yeah, so I will see you guys tomorrow. I hope you guys have a nice day, evening, afternoon, uh, anything else that you guys can come up with. And good night.